Now that we know what to look for in a scatter plot, let's go ahead and make one. So our scatter plots are the graphs that we're going to use to determine if there's a linear relationship between our variables. So the scatter plot will show the relationship by plotting the explanatory variable on the x-axis, the horizontal axis, and the response variable on the y-axis, the vertical axis. Each data point is plotted on the graph using a small dot to represent its value. So the example we're going to work with is showing the daily temperature and the number of ice cream bars sold by an ice cream truck for 12 different days in the month of July. So we're going to use this data to create a scatter plot. So when we're looking at data for linear regression, each of our data sets comes in a pair. So this first row that shows the temperature and the ice cream sales, that represents 1 day of data. So this is day 1. And then the next line is another day. This is day 2. And then the next line is another day. And then I have another day. And then I have another day. And so on and so on. So I want to make sure that I keep my rows together because the rows of this table, they go together. They represent the same day that the data was collected on. So now I went ahead and I put in a thing of graph paper. I just found a picture on the internet and did a screenshot to throw in here. That way I'm not having to eyeball quite so much. I can be a little more precise with it. So I'm going to start by creating a vertical line and a horizontal line, just like we did with our histograms. And then also, just like we did with our histograms and our bar charts, I'm going to look at the smallest temperature, which it looks like it's 11.9, and my highest temperature, which I think it's 25.1. So when I'm creating my x-axis, I need to start at least as low as 11.9 and go up to at least 25.1. So I'm going to make my little tick marks here. And let's see, if I do 10 to 26, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I could do 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. I mean, that works. I don't think I had enough lines to go by ones because I needed 16 and I only had 13. And then I'm going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And looking at the ice cream sales, the smallest one is 185 and the largest one is 614. There's a lot of pressure for me to not mess up. Okay, so I need to go from 614 to 185, and I have 17 lines. Six 14 to 185, and I have 17 lines. So maybe if I go by 25s and I start at 175, let's find out. 175, 200, 225, 250, 275, 300, 325, 350, 375, 400, 425, 450, 475, 500, 525, 550. Oh no, not quite. Okay, well, I'm gonna. This is why it's really, really nice when you have technology that you can use, because then things like this don't happen. Oh no. I have to fix my scale. Also, if you did not mess up like I did, feel free to fast forward until I have this fixed. This is the tedious part of graph making. Okay, almost there. Okay, 575, 600, and 625. Awesome. All right, and then throw these guys in. Beautiful. All right, here we go. There we go. We have our graph. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each row and I'm going to plot those points. So the first point is 14.2. So along my x-axis, I'm going to find approximately 14.2. And then I'm going to go up to 215. So I'm still doing a little bit of eyeballing here, but it's not too bad. So right there, that's about where the first point would be. And then 16.4 and 325. Right there. 11.9 and 185. 15.2 and 332. 18.5 and 406. 22.1 and 522. Ooh. Actually, that one needs to move a little bit closer. There we go. Okay, 19.4 and 412. 25.1 and 614. 23.4 and 544. Ooh, I lost where I was. And 544. Oh, I just realized I did that last dot in the wrong spot. I will fix that. That one needs to be over here. There we go. I fixed it. Okay, and then 18.1 and 421. 22.6 and 445. And the last one, 17.2 and 408. There we go. There is our scatter plot. And then if I wanted to describe the direction, I can see that actually I'm missing some things. Let me reverse real quick. I'm missing my labels. This is the temperature. These are the sales. I need a title. Doesn't have to be flashy. I should have a little more detail, however. These are ice cream sales. And now my scatter plot is complete. So temperature, sales, and a title. And now I could say that the direction is positive, or positively associated. I could say that the form appears linear. It looks like my dots are going in a straight line. I don't see any obvious curves. And I don't see any super obvious clusters. I do kind of have a little cluster here in the middle, but it's not like I have a cluster at the bottom and a cluster at the top. So it appears linear. And then the strength, that question is, does it look like the dots are kind of close to a straight line, or do they look pretty spread apart? And to me, it looks like if I were to draw a line through the dots, I could probably get a line through here, and it would be pretty close to all of the dots. So because I could do that, actually, I'll keep it in there. I would say that it's probably pretty strong of a relationship, just looking at the scatter plot. So this is how we can create a scatter plot by hand of a data set. And then use that scatter plot to look at the direction, the form, and the strength.